Hi everyone, my name is Giselle Reyes Cesarito from the SMD1B. So my topic is about pointers in buying cereals and storage and care of cereals. Cereals is any grass cultivated for edible components of its grain composed of its endosperm, germ, and bran. Cereals grains such as wheat, corn, rye, and etc. are important nutritional and energy sources for humans. Different kinds of cereals are rice, wheat, oats, corn, rye, and barley. The importance of purchasing cereals. Look for cereals that is entirely or almost entirely made of whole grains. That means whole grains or bran are usually the first two green ingredients if the label says 100% whole grain. Check the ingredient list if the label does not say 100% whole grain. Assume that the corn or wheat is processed if it isn't whole and the rice isn't gray. Check the serving size. The size of the serving determines of how many calories you'll be eating. And serving sizes vary a lot that they can range from roughly 30 grams or 1 ounce for high cereals to 55 grams or 2 ounce. Limit the added sugar food labels right now then have list added sugar separately from total sugar added. Choose cereals that have no more than 1.5 teaspoon or 7 grams of total sugar for light cereals or 2.5 teaspoon or 11 grams. And look also the cereals with unsaturated fat with less than 2.5 grams. The proper care of cereals. The packages containing ready-to-eat cereals should not be allowed to remain open for any length of time. It is desired to keep them fresh and crisp, for they absorb moisture from the air very quickly. Cereals are less risky than any other terms of disease transmission. This characteristic of cereals is due to the fact that all of them need cooking at some point during their preparation, which kills any disease germs that may be present. They are also unlikely to be tainted with the hazardous substances, and the enclosed containers in which many of the cereals are packaged keep them safe and contaminant-free. The importance of proper storage of cereals. Store whole grain cereals in a tightly covered container or sealed plastic bags in the refrigerator where they should remain fresh in 5 months. Good storage of cereals conditions should preserve the nutritional value of cereals grain as discussed. Pests and insects can influence the nutritional value of grains, but the problem doesn't stop there. Change in moisture inside the storage unit can also determine grain quality. Whole grain cereals and foods can reduce the risk of developing certain diseases, including the coronary heart disease, colon cancer disease, diabetes, and the diverticular disease. In purchasing cereals, look for the cereals that all whole grain. Check the ingredient list if the corn or wheat isn't whole and the rice isn't brown. Question: why whole grain cereals reduce the risk of the development of CVD? Since whole grains have different nutrient compositions, they can affect CHD or coronary heart disease risk through different mechanisms. Oats and barley are rich in viscous fiber, which lowers serum LDL cholesterol and blood pressure while also improving glucose and insulin responses. LDL means low density lipoprotein, sometimes called bad cholesterol, makes up most of your body cholesterol. High level of LDL cholesterol raise your risk for heart disease and stroke. Consuming a lot of whole grain has been linked to a lower risk of two types of diabetes, the coronary heart disease and the obesity. In comparison to processed grains, which have the germ and bran removed during the milling process, whole grains contain endosperm, germ, and bran. Why does the taste and texture of corn change during storage? The temperature at which sweet corn is harvested and processed has a significant impact on the consistency of the finished product, as the sugar in the kernel is converted to starch after harvest. Sweetness quickly declines. When corn is held at 70 degrees Fahrenheit instead of 32 degrees Fahrenheit. For example, the rate of a sugar loss is 10 times higher. Although super sweet varieties keep their sweetness for longer than other forms. All types of corn should be harvested early in the morning or late in the evening when, when temperatures are cold and refrigerated to preserve quality. What are the physical and chemical changes in cereals during storage? The compounds in the seed teguments can undergo oxidation or other chemical changes during storage, resulting in new compounds that change the grain color. Methods to determine storage, deterioration, impact of storage, and usable properties. Formation of toxins in moldy cereals and methods of shielding food from fungal toxins. And methods to determine storage deterioration. It is addressed what those changes mean to food technologists. What are the pointers in buying good quality of rice? The pointers in buying good quality of rice are whole and broken grains, shape and sizes of the grain, color of grain, chalkiness, weight, foreign materials like dirt, stone, moisture content of the grain, and etc. Tips for choosing high quality. Good for you rice, keep an eye out for the color of the rice. Pay attention to the texture of the rice. Choose rice that doesn't cling together when squeezed. Keep a close eye on the rice's appearance. Make sure the rice isn't infested with lice. Make sure you buy from a reputable retailer. Rice aroma is key.